So a lot of people know you as kind of the data mining expert. You seem to know exactly where to go into the game files and pull out all the juicy information. For those that might not know what that's all about, what is data mining? I mean, how can you get this footage so quickly on?
So data mining really in essence is just like looking into the game files and finding stuff like model files, or like they have a folder called DB2 files, and they have just a long list. You have like one for maps, you'll have one for like display like models and stuff like that, and basically just look into that and like compare, like say for example with the alpha, you've got your alpha build that was before and then your new one, and then you just compare it and see if there's new stuff. But and then you just rip it out and do some funky stuff and then show it off.
Rip it out and do some funky stuff.
That's it. Yeah,
Mr. GM. There you go.
that's the technical term to look at models.
Well, then on the subject of data mining, is there ever an opportunity, ever a chance you can foresee where something related to Classic could be data mined? Could there be any file or indication that Classic is coming out in these files right now?
The only thing that would ever be would be like a collector's edition pet or something like that. So say if you bought, I don't know if they're actually going to do it, but if you bought Classic and there was a collector's edition reward for doing so in BFA, then that would obviously be something. But other than that, it's pretty unlikely. It depends if they feed the client into like the system. I guess I don't really know too much about that. It's a bit too beyond my station, but yeah, I don't know. It depends what the client is as well. We don't really know if it's going to be a modified Legion client or 112 client or something completely new. It's weird, really, because the whole way the files have changed over the years between vanilla and Legion. It's crazy.
So as somebody that's kind of familiar with the technical side of things, when you hear Blizzard say stuff like they need to port this to the modern infrastructure and they want to make it, compatible with modern technology, what does that mean really for us laymen? We don't really understand that.
I wasn't really sure either. I was like, at first I just thought maybe it's just servers, like server technology, because obviously stuff from 2004 to 2018 is a lot different in the way that works. And I think the 112 client itself doesn't use all of your cores or anything like that on your computer because it's so old. But I couldn't see them doing it on a Legion client, a modified Legion client. It just seems like too much work because you'd have to port back, because all of those maps, all the old Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdoms are gone. They're not in the game files at all anymore. They're completely just been wiped out. So they would have to backport the models and everything like that. It would be a lot of work. And I guess J. Allen Pratt did say it'll take a while, but yeah, that was actually something I was going to try and do just as like a test, like port back the old Eastern Kingdoms into a Legion client to see what it looks like and see if it works. But I just looked at the task and I was like, no, that's not fun.
What was your feeling when you heard the announcement? What happened?
So it was kind of funny, actually. There's a whole story behind the whole BlizzCon thing. So we arrived. It was me and my girlfriend at BlizzCon, and we met up with a guy called Speak to Ryan, who's also a YouTuber. He's admin on my Discord. But I met up with him. He's from Chicago, so we're chatting away. And this queue for BlizzCon was just unreal. I've never seen anything like it. And we got to the end of it, and I had this little camera for vlogging, and I was like, okay, I'll vlog at BlizzCon because I just thought it'd be a cool thing for people to see on my channel. Got to the door, and the woman has opened my bag, and she's looked in, and she's pulled the camera out and goes, no, you're not allowed this in here. I was like, what? Why? They were like, oh, it's only for press. I was like, are you serious? I was like, what am I meant to do then? They're like, I'll take it back to your hotel. And the hotel's like a 15-minute walk and then a 20-minute bus. And the starting ceremony is starting in, 5 minutes? So I'm like, the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I'm standing outside BlizzCon. Ryan's already in. Me and my girlfriend are like, what are we going to do? And she, because she didn't really care too much for the BlizzCon stuff and anything, she just basically went there so I wasn't alone. She actually went back to the hotel by herself to take the camera bag. So I've gone in with Ryan. We've got a seat in the main hall, and it's just crazy. Like, the atmosphere is mad. And waiting for ages, and Ryan actually ran off because you can do signs, like crowd signs. So he wrote one saying like pristine servers with a big question mark. And we're sitting there at the thing, and I think that was the first announcement, wasn't it? The Classic, or was it the second? I can't remember.
Honestly, I was watching it on the virtual ticket, but I missed it originally, so I ended up seeing it, I think, on YouTube. So it was,
all right.
yeah, unfortunately.
So he's come out and he's talking about ice cream, and I'm thinking, Ice Cream Citadel, maybe Ice Crown Time Walking or something. And like literally the Chromie's come up and he goes, "It's time to go back," or whatever the fucking thing said.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, what is this? And Ryan just pokes me going, "It's classic." And then it goes, "It's legacy servers." I was like, "No, it's not." And then it started winding down. Yeah, so the crowd, I've been to festivals, I've been to gigs, I've never seen anything like this in my life. There are people just screaming as loud as like, and I'm British, so I'm sitting there like, okay, this is great. And like all the Americans around going, "Yeah, man," like throwing stuff, and I'm just and then Ryan's like shaking me, going, "Yeah, this is it." And yeah, and then my Twitter just blew up.
Did
They're
you
like,
expect
"Dad,
it?
it's happening." No,
No.
not in a million years.
Because we know it's coming, I want to talk about its implications with you. So you're the first person that I've brought on that has, I guess, extensive knowledge or experience in the vanilla community for the past several years. As somebody who's kind of been a part of this, who's been observing from afar and has participated in the actual community before Classic was announced, what do you think the implications are both for the vanilla community as well as the actual live version of World of Warcraft? How is Classic going to impact the live game?
Well, I guess I think Asmongold said it, and he's completely right. I think the sub numbers will be the highest there ever will ever be. Because you think a lot of people when Vanilla came out were a lot younger, so they might not have played Vanilla. They might have played TBC or Wrath or something like that, and they've always probably intrigued by it. They maybe even played Nost or anything like that. But I think because it came and went, and people spoke about it like a godly status, and people, "Oh, I wish I played Vanilla," sort of thing. So I think now those people are like, they're, because I'm sure they got, "Oh yeah, you should have played Vanilla, it was the best," and all that. Now they can do that. They can actually play Vanilla and experience it. And I think in general the gaming community is a lot older, and I think it will be revolutionary. Honestly, I think it will change a lot of things.
You're obviously very much aware of the changes versus no changes debate going on in the community right now.
Yeah.
In MrGM's mind, what route do you think Blizzard is going to take, and what route would you take if you were in charge?
So I don't think they're going to do changes. It's very, very obvious, especially the bigger streamers and certain people who smash their desks have said no changes for a long time. And I think the thing is, like, you think like how long it's going to take anyway. If they were to add like a looking for dungeon or like WoW tokens and stuff like that, it's more time to do, like, to create the product. And they got to sit there and go, right, we're going to add Raid Finder to vanilla. And then they sit there and go, why? It's going to take us, what, 100 hours to do that. But why are we going to do it? Who is this for? And it's way more effort to add stuff to vanilla than it is to obviously just keep vanilla. And it's only going to piss people off. That's the thing, isn't it? It's
Absolutely.
only going to annoy people, and then they're not going to get the target audience, and the target audience will run off back to private servers, really.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because it's the first time, I guess, where Blizzard's really being tested to compete against its own product. Is it going to maintain or realize the vision that a lot of people want to see, the original audience wants to see, or will it make changes? And I think you're right. I think for the most part, it doesn't seem like they'll go that route. The business case doesn't seem solid. But within the context of actual vanilla from 1.1 to 1.12, there were drastic changes. Class balancing, obviously progressive content release. You had the connected flight paths introduced. You had auction houses changed. You had diminishing returns added, so on and so forth. Where do you think we are going to start off? Where do you think Classic will release at?
It's a good thing you asked us now, because I literally watched Classic Cars yesterday, and I learned all about this. So this is now amazing.
Perfect.
But I personally, as I didn't answer the question about changes, my stance on changes is no changes. But if they added achievements, right? I'm just saying this because I think achievements were one of the best things they've ever added, because it just gives you stuff to do outside of your normal stuff. But I mean, if they added it, I'll be happy. But if they don't add it, I wouldn't care, and I'd prefer it if they didn't, because it would please more people. If that makes sense. I know people are like, "Oh my god, he wants changes. What a piece of shit." But like, I honestly think achievements is probably one of the best things they've ever added, because I really like them.
Thank you very much for the podcast. We're done here, ladies and gentlemen. No, I
But no,
understand.
honestly, no, I'm more no changes than anything though. Like I'm like if they said, oh yeah, we're not doing any changes, I won't be like, oh damn it, the worst. No, I honestly, I'll be more. I would prefer it if they didn't do any changes because it's better for everyone. But what was the other question? I've gone off track completely. I'm sorry.
No problem, no problem. Regarding where Blizzard will start, do you think they'll start at 1-1, at
That was it.
112? Do you think they'll take a wholesale approach, or do you think it'll be some sort of Franken patch?
Um, I personally would like 1-1. I wouldn't know 1-1 because we started 1-2 in the Europe. Is that right?
Yeah, 1-2.
See, I learned that yesterday. Yeah, 1-1. I think honestly, just fucking start from the beginning. But the thing is with that, it's kind of like having the sports almanac from Back to the Future because you know what's coming.
Yeah.
That's the thing with WoW now. You don't know what's going to happen in 2 expansions time or whatever. But now so say you start at 1-1, you could be like I don't know specifics, but let's say, for example, the class sucks in 1-1, but they get better as the patches go. Do you roll that class then, or do you wait for when they get better? If that makes sense.
I know what you mean. Yeah. I mean, the idea of 1-1, and Stay Safe actually explained this to me the other day after the podcast. The concept is there's been so much theory crafting that's been happening over the past decade, basically, of 1-12-1. And the idea of being able to start the game at a stage where people don't really know too much about the meta. They don't really know too much about how well classes will do in raids because that information is pretty much gone. That idea is really intriguing to a lot of people. And I've got to admit, when he explained it to me that way, that's very interesting. I'd love to go back to World of Warcraft.
It'd be a fresh start.
A fresh start, exactly. But I guess the question comes down to, can we deal with 8 months of no diminishing returns? Can we deal with, however, 6 months of no connected?
Was there even
flight
battlegrounds?
No battlegrounds at the start, not for 6 months, which is
Wow.
okay. I think that's okay from a content side. But a lot of just the small things. I mean, the wrecking bombs with paladins, a lot of class exploits, 200% mortal strike damage. Do you think people would be able to deal with that for so long?
I think, yeah, it would. They want to hit the ground running. That's what they want to do. And if they did that, potentially it could affect them.
Yeah.
Potentially. It depends really because, they could even start like the battleground patch, for example. But I think they would I would imagine they would probably go down the route of similar to private servers where they run 112, but they simulate other patches. I think that will probably be the route they take, honestly. But the thing is, then I think there was something about debuffs or on a boss.
Yes.
And they changed all of that with different patches as well. So you could talk about it all day. You just have no idea. They're probably talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Thinking, what are we gonna do? Like, that is the worst thing. The thing is, like, private servers, you could ask any developer. They were never perfect to vanilla anyway.
Yeah.
They only worked with what they had. Obviously, I mean, it's so minor. It'll be like positioning of a mob by like a millimeter, but like it's interesting, especially with some of the servers now. They've added things into it and changed and fixed and stuff. So nobody knows. It's a mystery.
Yeah, and something that was brought up, I think, in the Classic cast as well, armor values aren't known for any of the bosses. Resistance values aren't known for any of the bosses. So if you happen to be playing on a private server right now and you think Ragnaros is a joke, well, chances are he probably isn't that much of a joke in Classic. So definitely something to keep in mind. But talking about all that, and I want to call back to something we talked about a little bit earlier, and that's kind of Classic's implications on World of Warcraft, but also the general industry. You've been somebody who's been following vanilla and World of Warcraft for a long time, hands down. Have you followed any other MMOs on the horizon? Are you somebody that keeps track of the industry as a whole?
I've been playing WoW since like 2005, and I've tried other MMOs, and as we were saying before this, every single one always seems something's a bit off. And I don't know. It's weird. I think the best one I ever tried was what was it called? DC Universe. It was completely different. It was like a superhero one.
Yeah.
But like I've played Star Wars, and I've played like I never played RuneScape, but I've played like tried Rift and stuff, and it's always just seems I can't deal with more than one MMO because I always compare it to WoW. I'm playing this game and I'm just comparing everything to WoW that happens. So on the horizon, there's always been games coming. Always, people have always tried to create new MMOs, and I think the only one that could really have a solid base these days is if it's got a solid lore and IP behind it. So maybe Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, stuff like that, or even Elder Scrolls. I don't know how well the Elder Scrolls Online's doing, but I don't think it's doing bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a brand new one out of the box is going to struggle, I think, honestly.
Yeah, and it's been the case in the MMO genre for years, but there are some people that are saying with Classic's resurgence and contingent upon Classic's success, other developers might be inspired or financially motivated to put something out. You know, again, a lot of people talk about EA. They tried their hand at Star Wars: The Old Republic. It didn't go too well. But do you see that happening? Do you see developers saying to themselves, well, wow, you know, 5, 6, 7 million are sub to Classic WoW. Yeah. Maybe there's still a market here.
I mean, you think of it like something more, you compare it to something recent, Battle Royale genre, PUBG, Fortnite, I think others, but you know, there is others. But like, I don't know specifically, but one of them came first. And they looked at it and went, this is money.
Yeah.
And they made their game. Extremely similar. Is that going to happen with Classic WoW? Potentially. The thing is, again, back to if they screw it up, then there will be definitely more ambition to create something that is similar to the original Classic WoW.
So for you, I guess, you did some CG. What are your ambitions for Classic as a player, first and foremost? We'll get to the content creation side in a second. But what are your aspirations as a player? Are you looking to take it super hardcore, Nax, tier 3 all the way, rank 14 possibly?
Jeez. I'm just a terrible player. So probably just casual, honestly. I'll get to 60 in about 2 years. No, I'll stream. I'll definitely, you know, just play WoW, really. Just get to 60 and kind of take it from there. See where I'm at. YouTube and streaming wise, and see where we're at community wise. If I could build a guild off of my community, that would be, you know, fantastic. But the thing is, especially with vanilla, people aren't going to have a ton of ults, so they can't just be like, yeah, I'm just going to join your casual guild while missing out on, you know, a hardcore guild potentially. So it'll be interesting, I think, and it all depends on the release schedule as well. Like, what is there going to be to do straight away? But overall, I would love to PvE. I definitely did PvP in vanilla. I'm a Grand Marshal. Still have the achievement. Absolutely. Of course, I have the achievement, but that's one. I think Grand Marshal was super easy to get, though. I'm not very proud of that, but
Took like
it was. I remember just AV. I remember there was like an AV going on a Friday, and I would come back on Sunday, and it's still happening.
Yeah,
crazy. Like, that is insane. But I remember AV being my favorite thing, and it was really sad to find out recently that people don't do it anymore. And it's been like dumbed down to a fact that people just race straight down to the end, kill the boss, and that's it. It's no like summoning the big thing in the middle, or like taking hours to do specific things, or doing I think there was like quests, or you have to bring back resources and stuff. It was crazy, but now that's all gone, and it makes me really sad that someone told me recently, they were like, yeah, AV's crap. I was like, are you what?
Yeah, I know. And like, people have felt that way for years now. I mean, just watching the game change for better or for worse, in all fairness. I think most of us who prefer the vanilla style think it's kind of gone in the opposite direction. And looking into the future, since you brought up sequels, one thing that people have been talking to me about a little bit behind the scenes is somewhat of a concern for the longevity of the game. A lot of people think it's going to pop off. A couple of months later, most of the people who tried are going to leave, therefore validating JL and Brack forever. Or even if they do stay, activity overall will decline. At some point, Nax does come out, and at some point we are in patch 1.12.2, and we're just kind of waiting. What do you think the longevity is like for vanilla? Can we expect to see this game thrive, or should something else come out like a TBC or a patch 1.13?
Me personally, I would love to see 1.3. I think 1.13, sorry. Maybe Karazhan. You know, it was always meant to happen. It was definitely, you know, there was so much evidence to say that Karazhan should have been in vanilla at some point. But I think the problem is with 1.13 is it would annoy the no changes crowd again. So maybe if they had 112 on one and then 113 on another or something, but TBC would be great. There's definitely a demand for it. TBC and vanilla, Wrath, sorry. There's a demand for all of those things because people start in Wrath, people start in TBC, and they love as expansion. Me personally, I love TBC. I thought it was great, but it was more so the reason it was great is because I was playing vanilla and we didn't expect it at all. We didn't know what an expansion was. It wasn't something that was just ingrained. We always just thought it was patches. This expansion rolls along and you can fly and you can go to this incredible looking place and go through the dark portal. It's been there for forever and you don't know what it did. It was like insane. I logged off outside of that portal and I went through that portal and I was like because you know what it's like that because you go through the little portal and you come out and it's like unreal and there's a big war going on.
Yeah,
I'm honestly I get like goosebumps thinking about it. It was a big moment. And that's really why I like the expansion specifically. And then the expansion run its course and stuff. But even the content inside of it was great. But yeah, I would love to see TBC, honestly, and Wrath. I think they should keep it at those three. I don't think they should keep going to like a Legion server in 2030 or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's gonna be demand for that WoD server. I'm already seeing it, man, on the forums. The revisionists, man, they come back, well, WoD wasn't that bad, you know?
No.
It's not that the content was bad, it's just there wasn't enough of it. You know what I mean?
But I think it will last. You look at, you know, again, we go back to private servers, they've been around forever. People have been playing vanilla non-stop, you know, people have played whatever, like they started on maybe Nost, played Elysium, played Last Hope, whatever the next flavor of the month's going to be. It's it'll just be a cycle of this. It's the same people. You know, if they're going to level to 60 on one private server, why wouldn't they do it 5 times on a server that's going to stay around forever?
Exactly. And, you know, honestly, if it stays around forever, I'm just fine with that, man. I mean, it's just, it has that design for whatever reason. No matter how long you stay away from it, it always pulls you back in, it feels.
Yeah, you never quit WoW, you just take breaks.
Exactly. So before we head out, what is, if I were to ask you, what is the single feature or the single moment you want to relive in vanilla? What's the thing that it's on your mind? The second you heard the announcement, you were like, I want to do this again, or I want to experience this. This is the one thing I want to do. If you had to pick one feature, what would it be?
I honestly wish I never really played private servers. Not that I didn't like them, it was just the fact that it ruined, like you think I would have been what, like 12, 13 years out of playing it, so I wouldn't have heard that Dom Morrow music.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like the killing the boars in the Coleridge Valley with the music playing and everything going on. It's so, and then you get the weather and anything like that. But no, it's just hitting 60 and being like, it's over. There's no more leveling. Going to Ironforge, looking at people on the bridge and stuff like that, like with their insane gear. And you always get that one guy with like Thunder Fury or something and like full judgment.
So just more or less just being part of the world, you could say.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm really looking forward to it, honestly. I'm going to play actually the same character, play a Gnome Warrior, which is what I originally made just because of I want to learn a new class.
Let's talk about this gnome obsession real quick here. What's going on with that, man?
I thought it was funny. Honestly, I was looking through the races. My brother was always an undead. And I looked at the horde. I was like, oh, they look all mean. I don't want to do that. And I looked at human. I'm like, I'm already a human. That's not fun. I wasn't a very smart kid. And I looked at a gnome and I thought, that is hilarious. And then there's one with the big stupid grin. And I was like, that is it. And it was actually funny because I was bald with no beard. So I was just bald headed, huge ears, big stupid grin. I was like, this is hilarious. And obviously I was bald all the way up until Wrath of the Lich King with the barbershop. And when that came out, I was like, I'm putting hair on my guy.
Yeah. In all fairness, I feel gnomes get kind of a bad rep because some pieces, like some sets, especially ones with really well-designed helmets, gnomes kind of shine in those. Like,
yeah,
just to emphasize the helmet, and especially if the shoulders look, you know, proportional as well. But anyways, we still want to punt them, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I think they're great. But I honestly, I do want to play the Horde as well, like because a lot of my friends play Horde, and it's just something. Even though I've played the game for so long, I've never got to the end game of the Horde ever.
Yeah,
I've just never like I don't know what Ogrimmar. I don't know the geography of it. I know it a little bit from like just general stuff, but specifics I couldn't tell you. Which is crazy to think because you play it for so long, you just there's an entire different world that I'm missing out on.
Exactly. I was talking to somebody about this the other day in Discord. You play the game, you've played it for however many years. There's still stuff you don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just going through those 1-1 to 112 notes on the Classic Cast. I was learning things left and right. I had no idea that pummel wasn't in the game at the start, even though I was playing at the start. Couldn't even
yeah.
remember that. But it's great it's coming back. I'm glad you're excited for it, and thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I mean, I really appreciate it, man.
It's all right. It's my first, as I said to you before, first interview ever, and probably the last.
Nah, no. Here's to a nice and bright 2018 for you, and I'm sure it'll be the first of many to come. And before we head out, any upcoming projects? Where can people find you on social media?
So I'm on mostly everything. I've got Discord, I've got partner Discord. You can just type in MrGM and it comes up, and you can join me and some other losers. You've got on Twitter, MrGM, YouTube, someone MrGM YT. Some piece of shit took it, Mr. GM. I also have Twitch, but I don't really use Twitch, but that's Mr. GM as well. YouTube is Mr. Game Master Reviews. Gonna get that changed soon. I hate it. And that's about it, really. Projects. Gonna do some more Warfront armor. Gonna try get into that alpha, but probably not. But yeah, no, I'm just gonna carry on. I've got a board behind me. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
It's got a whole load of videos on there. And really just get, excited for coming news on Classic, really. Because contrary to popular belief, you can like Classic and retail.
Heathen, get out of here, dude. We're done.
World. What a
Why
world.
did I invite you on here? For God's sake. No, but thank you again, Mr. GM, for taking the time. His social media is also in the portrait below him, just in case you missed it. And hopefully maybe someday down the line we can see you once again, and hopefully at that point we're talking about what we're preparing to do for Classic launch. So
That'll be sweet.
Definitely. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Please leave some comments for Mr. GM in the comments section below. I can forward the questions over to him. And as always, have a great day.